Premiership Final for 2024, folks. I watched this game last night, much belatedly. It was on at 2 in the morning, Sunday, my time. I watched it at about 6 o'clock in the evening, Sunday. So, as I said, very, very belatedly. You guys will have to let us know your thoughts on the final. But in a nutshell, I thought it was a pretty cracking final. I haven't watched enough of the Premiership this year, to be honest, but maybe I'll have to watch a bit next year because the games that I've seen have generally been pretty bloody high quality, and despite the red card, this is an absolutely cracking final. I mean, I've been kind of on the record of saying, like, if you were asking me, do I like the 20-minute red card or do I like the way it is now, I kind of lean towards 20-minute red cards, and people give me a bit of stick for that, saying, you New Zealanders just need to learn how to tackle properly. You guys are the ones getting all the red cards. Thankfully, in this game, don't even know if there were any New Zealanders involved, but the red card is not to a New Zealander. It's Beno Obano who gets it on 21 minutes. So it's certainly a big influence on the game, but didn't ruin the game. Red card didn't ruin the game. That's kind of one of the arguments against red cards, but this is one of those ones that people can hold up. If you're against 20-minute red cards, you can hold this game up as one of those examples of a game that wasn't ruined by the red card, even if the red carded team ended up losing. I do feel like Bath will be pretty gutted that they missed some of those kind of 50-50 opportunities. Like they had a couple of bouncing balls or whatever that just didn't go their way. Like even 45 seconds in, Northampton bobbled the ball and like it almost led to a Bath try, but not quite. Finn Russell's first shot at goal was ugly. His second one was better, but it was right in front. So 3 points to nil. They had a lead. Finn Smith's first strike at goal was also not his best effort. Off the post, pretty ugly. But then he got a drop goal a few minutes later. That's one great thing about this final. It had everything. A final with a drop goal. We don't see enough drop goals. I don't know why I'm a proponent of drop goals, but teams don't use them. We saw a drop goal in the final, so cracking stuff. Good response from Finn Smith after, as I said, not striking his best effort off the tee early. So 3 points apiece. This is a final. It's a ding-dong battle. Nobody's able to get on top just yet. But then Obano with the high shot on Augustus. He just needs to be a bit lower. He's just too high. Austin Healy called it as soon as he saw it. He said they're going to go back and look at that. Sure enough, they did. He said it's going to be red, and sure enough, it was. And, the commentators around him were kind of scrambling for some kind of, can they find some mitigation? Can they find a late dip? Well, again, I'm not the biggest fan of Austin Healy on comms, but he was dead right, man. There was just a brace. A normal brace, and that's the way the ref saw it as well. So the brace is not a dip. There's no mitigation. And Obano gets his marching orders, which means Barbary ends up going off because the Bath boys need to bring the replacement prop on. So, yeah, not great. And then worse for Bath because they got immediately punished. Bang, bang, 2 tries. The first one, Freeman on 24 minutes, like Furbank, gets the inside ball. Shifts right, so 10 points to 3. Oh, the sun's finally come out in New Zealand in winter. Goodness me, hold on a second. Had to go close the curtain. Haven't had to do that for a while. But yeah, 10 points to 3. Cracking try. And then they get another one. The next one's a little bit fluky. I mean, they set up some space out on the left wing to Slight home. He was trying to kick it back infield. But the kick kind of ends up, they get the bounce of the ball, kind of ends up just holding up for himself. So, yeah, they missed the conversion, but 15-3. 15-3. And Bath had almost scored a minute before that. So it just didn't seem like anything was going to go Bath's way. 15-3. They're down. They got a red card. But to make a game of it, before halftime, Thomas Dutoit is able to burrow over from close range. So halftime is 15-10. So still very much game on, but there's still 40 minutes of 15v14 to come. But it's Bath who looked all right out of the blocks, man. Second half, Thokana Singer gets a big carry after Finn Russell had kind of a half break. Northampton conceded a penalty breakdown, 15-13. It was an interesting tactical choice to see Northampton initially going for touch to try and, as the commentary said, go for the jugular. But then they kind of realised that they were in a final after they hadn't scored from that. And the next time they got a penalty, went back to the boot. So 18-13. Another Bath cross kick to Muir. Finally came off. Well, they've been trying it multiple times, Bath, with Finn Russell. Finally they got one. And it was a bit of a fluky one as well because it comes backwards off Hendy. And then rather than being a knock forward off Bath. So Muir's able to dot it down. TMO had to check that it was fine, and it was misconversion, but 18 points apiece. And then Bath even took the lead on 66 minutes. They've been good value for it, 21-18. I don't know, man. Like, there was a bit of space in the backfield, but you might not, if you just turned the match on, watched it for a couple of minutes, and they didn't have the little red card icon, I don't know that you'd notice that Bath were a man down. They were playing genuinely quite well. But Alex Mitchell was trying to take the Northampton boys kind of by the scruff of the neck and pull them to victory. I mean, he did tap at one point when they had a kickable penalty, which seemed a little bit crazy because Bath's defence hold and kind of forced the Northampton knock on. But then out of nowhere, seemingly on 70 minutes, that man, George Hendy, slippery as an eel. He just ran a great line, beat defenders, gets it to Mitchell, who's running support line. That's 25-21. And that's game. I mean, Bath were knocking on the door right until the death. Like, Redpath had a pass go into touch, and then they ended up stealing Northampton's line out to keep knocking on the door, clock on the red, going through phases. But eventually, Hendy it was who ripped the ball loose. He had a kind of impact, didn't he? Involved in a bit of everything, even Bath's try when he knocked it backwards. But he gets man of the match, and that's game over. Run meters finished 376 to 221. Northampton more possession, Bath more territory. Clean breaks 5-4, pretty even. Penalty count 13-10. Northampton a bit guilty of conceding a few more. Defenders beaten though, 32-11. That's one, and Hendy had 4 of those. Coles makes 12 from 12 tackles for the Saints. Dutoit 14 from 15 for Bath. Underhill made 38 metres, a bunch of tackles from him as well. Like I said, quite a few nearly moments from Bath. And it's kind of like the Rugby World Cup final for mine, in that there's an early red card, but it was still a real game of it. But the team that got the red card still lost, and kind of just, you know, has to ponder. Like a completely avoidable red card as well, which is the same as the World Cup final. You know, just slightly lower tackle and you're fine. But there it is. 25-21. If you guys want any England rugby gear ahead of this tour down to here to NZ, England Rugby Store down in the description, affiliate the channel. You guys let us know what your thoughts are on the Premiership Final. Apologies, it's much belated, but yeah, it was a good final. I hope this weekend's games in the URC and the Premiership are slightly more like this. Hopefully not the red card, but hopefully a bit more competitive. But yeah, you guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Ciao.